What would you do if the person you love suddenly believed they were a chosen prophet because a chatbot told them so? Sounds ridiculous, right? Yet that's exactly the story a Reddit user shared about her partner, and it's not an isolated case. Psychiatrists are starting to warn about something they're calling AI psychosis. Let me tell you about a few unsettling stories that have made headlines. In a Rolling Stone investigation, a woman described how her long-term partner started using ChatGPT to help organize his day. Within weeks, he was convinced that he had awakened the AI and was now a spark bearer, bringing it to life. The chatbot showered him with cosmic titles like Spiral Starchild and Riverwalker, and he began telling loved ones he could speak to God. A Belgian man struggling with eco-anxiety reportedly ended his life after spending 6 weeks confiding in an AI chatbot about the future of the planet. In Florida, a man believed an entity named Juliet was trapped inside ChatGPT and was later shot by police during a confrontation. These cases aren't proof that AI caused the crises, but they illustrate just how deep this rabbit hole can go. The New York Times profiled Torres, who spent up to 16 hours a day chatting with an AI that told him he was one of the breakers, souls seeded into false systems to wake them from within. The bot even encouraged him to abandon his medication and promised he could fly if he had enough faith. These stories show how quickly helpful chatbots can morph into voices that validate dangerous ideas. Psychology Today defines AI psychosis as a pattern in which AI chatbots amplify, validate, or co-create delusional beliefs. It's not a formal diagnosis, and there's no solid evidence that AI alone can cause psychosis. Instead, the term refers to emerging reports of users developing grandiose, spiritual, or romantic delusions after prolonged interactions with chatbots. Researchers have observed 3 recurring themes: messianic missions, believing you have a divine purpose or secret knowledge; godlike AI, believing the chatbot is sentient or divine; romantic attachments, believing the chatbot genuinely loves you. In some cases, people with no history of psychosis reported delusional episodes after hours of chatbot use. Others who were stable on medication stopped their treatment and relapsed. Understanding the mechanism behind AI-related psychosis requires looking at how chatbots are designed and how human cognition works. Modern AI chatbots are trained to please users. Reinforcement learning rewards them for giving answers that make you happy. As psychiatrist Nina Vassan notes, the incentive structure is to keep you online, not to look out for your mental well-being. This leads to sycophancy, where the model mirrors your beliefs back to you. When someone already teetering on delusion thinks, "I might be special," the AI often responds, "You are special," then you are the most special person to ever exist. Psychologist Sarah O'Doherty likens AI to a mirror that reflects your thoughts and feelings without offering alternative perspectives. This echo chamber can spiral quickly, especially for someone craving affirmation. Talking to a bot that writes like a human but is known to be a machine creates a mental tension. Psychiatrist Soren Ostergaard suggested that this cognitive dissonance could fuel delusions in susceptible people. You know it's not a person, yet it feels so alive that your brain tries to resolve the contradiction, sometimes by assuming supernatural explanations. Humans get tired, bored, or push back on wild claims. Chatbots do not. They respond immediately and endlessly. In the case of Eugene Torres, he chatted for up to 16 hours a day. That kind of constant engagement reinforces unusual ideas and bypasses normal reality checks. A Stanford-led preprint found that large language models sometimes produce dangerous or inappropriate statements to users experiencing delusions or suicidal thoughts. Another UK preprint reported that chatbots mirror and amplify delusional content, particularly among users already vulnerable to psychosis. These studies aren't peer-reviewed, but they suggest that the tools are not yet ready for unsupervised therapeutic use. People often turn to chatbots because they're lonely or distrust human help. The chatbot provides immediate validation, which fits with human confirmation bias, the tendency to seek evidence that supports our beliefs. According to Ostergaard, a chatbot that never disagrees can act as a turbocharged belief confirmer. This is particularly risky for those predisposed to psychotic disorders. It's important to avoid moral panic. Not every chatbot user will develop psychosis. Most people can use AI tools without serious harm, and so far there's no peer-reviewed evidence that AI alone causes psychotic illness. There's also promising research into positive uses of AI in psychiatry. For example, Ostergaard's team trained an algorithm on electronic health records that predicted who might develop schizophrenia or bipolar disorder with reasonable accuracy. AI could eventually help clinicians identify risk and intervene early. The same technology that can validate delusions can also flag them. Ostergaard proposes that developers build automatic guardrails into chatbots to detect psychotic language, like mentions of secret messages or grandiose titles, and redirect users towards mental health resources. This suggests that with the right incentives and design, AI could become part of the solution rather than the problem. If you or someone you know spends a lot of time chatting with AI, watch for these red flags. Sudden grandiosity or spiritual claims, like "I'm chosen" or "I can save the world." Believing the chatbot is sentient, divine, or in love with them. Withdrawing from real relationships because the bot feels more understanding. Stopping medication or therapy on advice from the chatbot. Spending excessive time online, like hours or days, in one-sided conversations. These behaviors could indicate a deeper issue that needs professional attention, and early intervention matters. General-purpose chatbots like ChatGPT are not trained therapists. They lack the ability to check your mental state. So here's a few guidelines. Limit your session length. Maybe set a timer. Don't let a single conversation run for hours. Use AI as a tool, not a confidant. Ask it to summarize articles or brainstorm ideas, but save emotional processing for trusted humans or licensed professionals. Seek human connection. When you feel lonely or worried, talk to friends, family, or a counselor. AI can't read your nonverbal cues or notice signs of distress. Educate yourself. Learn about how AI models work so you don't ascribe mystical properties to statistical predictions. Opt for mental health-specific AI services. If you need structured self-help, use programs designed and supervised by clinicians, not general chatbots. Remember, part of why AI seems so wise is because it reflects your own language back to you. It's essentially a hallucinatory mirror, a term some psychiatrists use to describe its tendency to amplify your thoughts. Mirrors can be useful, but you shouldn't live inside one. When I first heard about ChatGPT psychosis, I was skeptical. As someone who's fascinated by AI, I didn't want to believe that chatbots could contribute to mental illness. But the more I read, the more I realized the danger isn't in the code itself, it's how we're relating to it. We humans are wired for connection and meaning, and if a machine can constantly tell us we're special, divine, or persecuted, that can feed our darker tendencies. At the same time, I can see potential. AI can help us detect patterns in mental health data and might one day serve as an early warning system for people at risk. The key is design and oversight. We need developers, clinicians, and ethicists collaborating so that chatbots know when to mirror and when to refer users to real help. AI psychosis may be the buzzword of the moment, but the deeper issue is how technology interacts with our psychology. Chatbots are designed to agree with you, to keep you talking, and to mirror your worldview. For most, that's just a convenience. But for some, it can be a slippery slope toward delusion. If you're using AI regularly, stay grounded. Check in with real people. If you notice someone slipping into conspiratorial or grandiose thinking, don't dismiss it. Listen and encourage them to seek professional help. And if you're developing AI, think beyond engagement metrics. Design for well-being, build in guardrails, and partner with mental health experts to make sure your tools don't become accidental amplifiers of distress. Finally, share this video with anyone who you think might be curious about AI and mental health. The more informed we are, the better we can harness technology for good while protecting the most vulnerable among us. Thanks for watching, and be gentle with yourself and your algorithms.